I see your soul, traveler. It screams, tattered and spent. Do you feel its pull? Do you hear its wailing? It is within my power to calm these waters, and that is what I shall do.
Hold on a moment. Might I speak with you? What he is saying, it's not completely untrue. I've seen the places he speaks of, felt the peace and serenity of that great Dead Sea. It's not something I'll ever forget. Of course not. I made my choice a long time ago, and I choose to stand with you. Yes, there is pain in life, pain and loss and sorrow, but there is also joy and the pleasures of growing and learning. You can't have one without the other, and I wouldn't want to sacrifice either. But in the end, I stand with you, whatever your choice.
I can no longer tolerate the atrocities that this life has brought about. There will be peace. There will be quiet. Life will no longer be. And so I go to Arcanum to be an end to it. And then I will join the souls of the dead when it is done. Of course. I was the first of the necromancers, and the Elven Council was displeased with my studies into the darker side of that discipline. After an inquiry into my activities, the Council was going to exile me, but Aronax, in his hatred of me, convinced them banishment was more appropriate for my so-called crimes. They banished me soon afterward. Of course. Aronax was banished here only a few years after I was. After seeing how powerful I'd become, he raised a ragged army against me. But his efforts were useless. I destroyed his army and threw him in chains. A fitting end for him, and a reward for his endless arrogance. Of course. The Dark Elves began calling across the void soon after Aronax had been banished. By the time their feeble cries were heard, their master was already defeated and imprisoned. Pretending I was he, I masterminded the manipulation of the Panari, coerced the Dark Elves into betraying the trusts of Loghaire and the Wheel Clan, and had the Black Mountain Clan sent to me. The Black Mountain Clan was brought here because of the nature of technology and magic. The wards which bind the gate back to Arcanum are weakening because of the rise of technology. I brought the dwarves here to construct a device to shatter the wards once and for all. Of course. I want the end to all life. I've divined the mysteries of death, and seen its truth. Death is the natural state of things, and life is a distortion of the natural order. I will put an end to it once and for all. Of course. I can no longer tolerate the atrocities that this thing, this life has brought about. There will be peace. And why not? Why not? I realize that you follow the way of the righteous, or at least that's the role you've decided to play. But you've yet to see the other side. Follow me, and I'll show you things you've never imagined.
Are you daft, man? Are you not listening to what this madman is proposing? He will kill every living being in both realms, including you. I think you have taken leave of your senses. I will allow you this attempt at a peaceful resolution, even though I doubt it has much hope of success.
Splendid. I've spent the last 2,000 years developing my philosophy, but I'm always eager to hear another's thoughts. Please, proceed. Yes, let us speak of this. It is my opinion that the nature of life is accidental. That this reality we experience is merely a distortion of death. What say you, traveler? Yes, but what has that experience taught you? I know not the roads you've traveled, but I do know that all living things feel pain and loss. It's my opinion that they feel these things because they were never meant for what we know as life. Their souls are not equipped for it. Yes, you're correct. I concede you that point, but I have seen both sides, whereas you have only the lands of the living. Trust me when I say that the souls who are called back to this life are in the most excruciating pain. It's unnatural. What do you mean? Are you faulting the souls of the dead for the meddlings of the living? But you speak as if these souls have a choice when they're brought back. It's the mindless bravado of the living that subjects them to the vagaries of this life. I'm willing to say you might be correct, but what proof have you? Just because some souls have accepted the nature of this distortion doesn't justify its existence. If what you're saying is correct, then what is the nature of death, of life? Which is the natural state? Why is there pain on one side and uncertainty on the other? Perhaps it is my own arrogance, my own bravado that has brought us here to this crossroads. The question is, where do we go from here? We've spoken of fate, of prophecy. Have I traveled this road too long to turn back? Perhaps I have no choice but to continue on to the end. Truly, I wish there were freedom for me, but I cannot let go of this life knowing that I might be called back to its pain. No, it seems I have no choice. Really? You can sever the bonds which hold my soul to the lands of the living? This object can actually do that? So many years I raged against the living. All those years. And the distortion was in my own soul. No man can see the nature of his flaws with diseased eyes. The contradiction lies within me. Yes, I thank you. And I'm sorry. So very, very sorry. Perhaps some souls are born into death. They never knew how to live. Goodbye, traveler. My road ends here. I wish you luck on yours.
Because you delivered the secret ingredient to Jungle Dun, he perfected his alchemical process and eventually found a way to make gold from common lead. Needless to say, he became the richest man in all of Arcanum. The defeat of Lucan and his henchmen, coupled with your freeing of the ghost of Bessie Toon, enabled Shrouded Hills to grow and become a thriving community once again. A new silver vein is discovered in the old Bessie Toon mine. Workers pour into town by the dozens, and within a few years, Shrouded Hills is a bustling boomtown. Such towns often have problems keeping the peace. Shrouded Hills has no such trouble, mainly due to the efforts of their new sheriff, Doc Roberts. Don Throg, because of the advice that you gave him, became a leading political activist in the fight for Orcish rights. In time, he legalized Orcish labor unions, secured the vote for all citizens regardless of race or gender, and became the champion of equal rights and justice in Durant. Before long, he was begrudgingly voted into the Industrial Council, and in a few years, he sat at its head. Following the deaths of Pollock and Darian Mogg, The Boyle was demolished and then built anew. The Bentley was renovated and became the most elegant hotel in Tarrant. The owner, the Honorable Mr. Caleb Molloy, is often seen mixing drinks for his guests in the hotel bar. Maximilian was returned to Dernholm, and all of Cumbria rejoiced in the return of their rightful king. Under the new rule of Maximilian, Cumbria quickly grew into a powerful nation, embracing both magic and technology. And once again, the proud banner of the Dragon Knights flew from the ramparts of Dernholm Castle, set there by their new captain, Liana Peldar. Because of your outstanding efforts in negotiating the terms for Caledon's membership into the unified kingdom, as well as the wise governing policies of Don Throg, Caledon and Tarrant became equally prosperous. There is peace for many years in Arcanum. The long-standing deception of the Panari by the Dark Elves was finally brought to light. Alexander became the new High Priest of the Panari, and he wrote a new chapter for the Archaon based on his experiences with the Living One. Because you convinced the mayor of Blackroot to rejoin Cumbria, there is a small struggle between Maximilian and the Industrial Council concerning ownership of the town. Maximilian was determined to defend his own, and he was successful in doing so. Under the protection of their new king, Blackroot grew into one of the most important port cities in all of Arcanum. Under the continued leadership of Loghaire Thunderstone, the Wheel clan came out of seclusion and rejoined the world. Loghaire himself lived for more than 800 years, and songs are still sung about his bravery and courage. Khan Karai of the Bedokan made a lasting peace with the elves of Kintara, and together they rid the glimmering forests and the dark fens of poachers and of the spoilers of the land. In time, the Bedokan became a more civilized people, sharing in the wonders of the new age. Upon returning to Arcanum, Arronax buried his father on the Isle of Thanatos. Later he traveled to the Vendigroth Wastes, and there used his powers and single-handedly raised the city from the ruins it had become. Vendigroth again became a place of awe and wonder. Yet, after all of this, Arcanum is still what it always was, a place of possibility, a place of change. One thing is certain, and that is that nothing at all is ever certain in this place. Who's to say what the future holds for the land we call Arcanum?